Beyonce is being accused again of doing black magic. Now, here's what I'm going to say. Everybody ain't lying. I spent probably a week doing research on all the people that they were connected with, and all of them are connected to some sort of black magic, some sort of witchery. He put in the lawsuit, Jay-Z,
not Beyonce, allegedly sliding back into that strange spiritual territory just to help her and Jay-Z escape all the dark rumors tied to Diddy. The whispers online are wild. People claim Beyonce was already exposed for doing spiritual rituals on people, and some even claim she kept deceased bodies in her home as part of those ceremonies. Now her former nanny is allegedly spilling more details, and what she's saying sounds way more intense than anyone expected. On top of that, the word on the block is Jay-Z might be dealing with serious financial pressure, and Beyonce is the one helping him keep that billionaire image alive. That would explain why she's been touring non-stop, pushing through injuries and launching new businesses faster than anybody can even keep up.
That he was facing financial hardship, saying that he was not able to get business loans that he needed for his business and personal life because of these lawsuits. They've caused reputational harm, and banks denied him, even though he couldn't get loans before to save Roc Nation. And so he had to resort to a PPP loan to save Roc Nation. And how is it that a billionaire can't go into his own stash and allow his business to borrow money from him to save his business? Why does he have to run to the government to save him?
Rumors about Beyonce and spiritual practices have been floating around since she stepped into the music world. But everything got loud when her former drummer Kimberly Thompson, who toured with her for years, suddenly walked out in the middle of the On the Run 2 tour. Kimberly went public and accused Beyonce of using strong spiritual practices behind the scenes, saying Beyonce was using extreme witchcraft. She claimed that when she finally left the tour, Beyonce allegedly sent people to watch her and make sure she didn't run to the internet with the story.
Guys, I cannot make this stuff up. Beyonce's ex-drummer of 7 years, she is seeking a restraining order against Beyonce. She's accusing her of dark magic, witchcraft, tapping into her phone bill, and basically controlling her finances, She's saying the Beyonce camp is put up a huge harassment campaign against her, and it's overall witchcraft. She sought a restraining order in the past. It got denied, and she has another one scheduled for October 11th, but the internet is just like, what? Excuse me? And, I was just at the Beyonce concert last week in Houston. It was definitely a religious experience.
Wait, the girl cats. A girl went to court and charged her with extreme witchcraft. She was hypnotized. She was drugged. Beyonce came and she was in there eating on her while she was asleep, snacking on his and people cats. And guess what? They wouldn't give her the restraining order. They just told her to stay away from Beyonce and work for somebody else. Guess what? She's having a hard time finding work too, which is interesting because she's a brilliant musician. She was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music, handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band.
Kimberly said things got so intense that she filed a restraining order because she genuinely feared for her safety. After that, she stayed quiet for years since people kept calling her crazy, and some even showed up at her house to leave hateful letters, trying to scare her into silence. But just a few months ago, Kimberly decided she'd had enough and came back to speak on the situation again, and she didn't hold back at all. She said she regrets ever working for Beyonce.
I definitely did that to definitely be so clear to cut the cord that I don't want to have anything to do with this person at all. I don't want to work with them. I'm even embarrassed that I have worked with them because it's literally shattered everything that I've tried to build after doing that work in my life. So if I have always said when I was a kid, I never would want to regret anything, but this I regret. I regret that we ever worked together because it's turned my life completely upside down. She's not been able to let me go. She's not been able to let me progress into a mature woman and work with other people, build other great entities and statues and trophies that develop in the arts world and music. She's just been a savage, stealing my intellectual property, stealing my ideas, just basically doing anything and everything to damage any type of happiness that I could have had up to current. That be in my own independent career, establishing my own company, my own music, relationships, whether it be business partnerships, personal relationships. And so I've had to do a lot of work, a lot of practice of self-love. I know that, I was that kid that grew up and always did the right things and always studied really hard and always did a lot for whoever I was working for and the company. And, that time has come and passed over and over again. And it's just been a nightmare to try to move on and do other things with other people without it getting totally destroyed. The other people I've worked with that have been on a plateau have been paid to fire me. I found this out, and then it just kept happening. So it was a pattern. You get really excited about something, you build it up.
Because the moment she exposed what she allegedly saw, her career completely changed. According to her, she hasn't been able to find any work in the industry since then, and she believes doors were closed on purpose. Kimberly didn't stop there. She also claimed Beyonce's sister Solange was involved in the same spiritual activity. A lot of people quickly believed Kimberly, especially after she mentioned Solange, because not too long ago, when Nicki Minaj was online going off and calling out Jay and Beyonce, Solange jumped online too, and people started saying she was there to allegedly perform spiritual work on Nicki. At least, that's what people were saying. So while Nicki was in the middle of her online rant, Solange suddenly popped up on Instagram and posted images of spiritual idols people claimed she was honoring. Because of the timing, folks started saying Solange was sending a warning. Like if Nicki kept mentioning her family, Solange would call on those idols and drop some serious spiritual energy on her. And Nicki must have felt that message loud and clear, because right after Solange's post went up, Nicki stopped talking altogether. The internet went wild, claiming this wasn't a coincidence at all. These rumors only got louder after a well-known blogger named Storm Monroe jumped in, accusing Beyonce of being a major spiritual figure in Hollywood, basically calling her a high priestess in the industry. He claimed Beyonce has deep spiritual ties to a powerful deity called Ocean, and according to him, this spirit is considered one of the strongest you can connect with. He also said Madonna used to hold the title as the highest ranking spiritual figure in Hollywood.
No, Beyonce is a witch. She's a very powerful witch. She's heavy into African spirituality. She is a daughter of, I believe, either a daughter of Oshun or Yemaya. I go back and forth. I feel like it's Oshun though, but if I got it wrong, I got it wrong. But nonetheless, she's a high ranking witch. Okay, how many people have come out and said, "Hey, shit, my cat started dying. Beyonce did this to me. I saw Beyonce do that." Like this is nothing new. Okay, but you got to understand, when it comes to Illuminati, to this industry, one person replaces the other. Madonna is almost done. And Madonna is a very high ranking witch. She is a high priestess. That's just pretty much what it is. Of course, the main thing Madonna practices is Kabbalah, but then there's different versions of Kabbalah, just like there's different versions of African spirituality. But then I also believe that in addition to African spirituality, I do believe that Beyonce is into dark magic and black magic as well, her and Jay-Z. And we're just gonna leave it at that.
And she still has a strong place in that circle, but Beyonce is now the top queen, which is why the industry treats her with so much respect. But then it got even more intense. Some people online started saying the awards Beyonce receives might come at a serious price involving her family, especially her twins, Rumi and Sir. Storm basically suggested that the twins don't seem as sharp or bold as Blue Ivy because Beyonce allegedly used them as some type of offering for spiritual gain. Once Storm said all this, the internet lit up us. Folks immediately started digging through old interviews, pictures, and stories to see if there was any sign of Beyonce being involved in spiritual activity or anything close to what Storm was talking about. And there actually was something to find. Beyonce herself kind of sparked these conversations years ago when she introduced her famous alter ego, Sasha Fierce. She explained that when she steps into this persona, she feels like something takes over her whole body. Beyonce says she only leans on Sasha Fierce when she performs because she's naturally shy and feels like she can't give a full show unless that alter ego takes full control. That she even described a moment right before performing at the BET Awards, saying, "I raised my hands up and it was the first time I felt something else come into me." That statement had people online staring with wide eyes, wondering what exactly she meant. Then things took an even stranger turn. A woman named Khadijah, who once worked around Beyonce, claimed she left after learning about the alleged spiritual activity. She later said she believed something negative happened afterward as a consequence of walking away. Khadijah was furious and called out Beyonce publicly, saying things like, "Are you serious? You called for my child to be sad, you evil witch. At essence, check on my child. I'm about to blow this through the roof." These comments shocked everybody because it sounded emotional, intense, and very personal.
Well, because the Me Too movement was a ruse. It was a setup. It was a scam. I'm saying that now, publicly. Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there. If the Me Too movement were real, why aren't they speaking now? They've also been very quiet in this time of the diddler's downfall.
Jaguar,
yes, they're on vacation.
If this goes to court, Jaguar, do you think the world is going to be shocked by what comes out?
Oh, absolutely. I just don't know why they are. It's been happening in front of everyone's faces for decades. For decades.
How many victims?
What's the difference between me and Judy Garland? Social media.
How many victims?
There was none for her.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, Pierce.
Beyonce, you went too far. You gotta be kidding me. I'm the child you supposedly offed so you could shine. You forgot? You were only supposed to be a star on the tree. Giving orders of takeouts never matched your rise. When it happened to me, I stayed quiet for my career, but not when it comes to my goddaughter. I'll blow your whole world up. That's what was being said, and the story keeps getting darker. Last year, Jaguar Wright sat down for a heated interview with Piers Morgan, the same one that had Beyonce and Jay-Z allegedly rushing to send out legal threats. In that interview, Jaguar seemed to accuse Beyonce of doing spiritual work inside her home. She went as far as claiming Beyonce and Jay-Z were allegedly keeping remains of people who were supposedly harmed, storing them inside their house and using those remains for rituals. But here's where things twist even more. Word on the block is that Jaguar wasn't just speaking randomly. She allegedly got all that information from Beyonce's former nanny. This nanny's name was never revealed, but the rumor is she worked for Beyonce and Jay-Z when the twins were born. According to the talk, she quit after witnessing what she described as disturbing spiritual behavior and wanted no part of it. These claims sent social media into a frenzy because if true, it would mean someone inside their home witnessed everything firsthand. When she saw Jaguar speaking up so boldly, she allegedly rushed to connect with her and shared what she knew because she figured Jaguar was fearless enough to put it all out there. The nanny reportedly didn't want to expose everything herself because she was scared of ending up shut out of the industry, like Beyonce's former drummer and dancer who spoke up years earlier. Online, people started reacting fast. One person said, "Solange already exposed herself for practicing witchcraft and people still think those women are lying? Pathetic. It's time to start using common sense." Another person said, "At first I thought all of this sounded unreal, but honestly, I'm not even shocked now. because Beyonce did say that before her mom had her grandmother would burn candles. Comments like that only made the rumor spread faster. So now the big question is this: what do you think about Beyonce being tied to these spiritual claims? Do you believe she could be involved in this kind of energy to help Jay-Z deal with his rumored money problems? Drop your thoughts down below because this is getting wild. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and leave a comment. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to click here to watch another messy video.